On March 7, 2024, Sweden formally joined NATO, ending over 2 centuries of military non-alignment and marking a historic shift prompted by Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine. This decision, driven by a surge in public support, polls showed approval rising from 35% in 2021 to over 60% by mid-2022, and a reassessment of regional threats has reshaped Sweden's role in European security and significantly bolstered NATO's strategic posture. As of March 2025, Sweden's influence is already evident, transforming the alliance into a more cohesive and formidable entity. With its accession, Sweden brings a unique blend of geopolitical advantage, military strength, and technological prowess, enhancing NATO's deterrence capabilities across Northern Europe, the Baltic Sea, and the Arctic, while also offering lessons from its storied history of neutrality and resilience. Sweden's geopolitical position is a cornerstone of its value to NATO. Nestled in Northern Europe with the longest Baltic Sea coastline of any nation in the region, stretching over 3,200 kilometers, Sweden bridges the Nordic and Baltic states, linking Denmark, Norway, Finland, and the Baltic trio of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. This connectivity creates a near-complete NATO encirclement of the Baltic Sea, leaving Russia with only its narrow access points at St. Petersburg and Kaliningrad, a sliver of territory dwarfed by the alliance's newfound dominance. The strategic island of Gotland, often dubbed an unsinkable aircraft carrier due to its central position, amplifies NATO's ability to monitor and control maritime routes, underwater cables, and pipelines critical to European security and economic stability. Beyond the Baltic, Sweden's proximity to the Arctic extends NATO's reach into a region of escalating geopolitical tension, where melting ice has opened new shipping lanes and resource opportunities, drawing attention from Russia and China alike. With Sweden and Finland's membership, 7 of the 8 Arctic states, excluding Russia, are now NATO allies, creating a near-unified front to counter Moscow's militarization of the High North, evidenced by its reopened Soviet-era bases and frequent military drills. Historically, Sweden's relations with Russia have been fraught, a tension that intensified after 2014 with the annexation of Crimea. Russian provocations, such as airspace violations by Su-24 bombers, a 2013 mock nuclear strike simulation targeting Stockholm, and hybrid threats like disinformation campaigns targeting Swedish elections, exposed the limits of neutrality in an era of assertive Russian foreign policy. These incidents, coupled with the Ukraine war, shattered the illusion of Scandinavian isolation, pushing Sweden toward NATO's collective security umbrella. The decision was not without domestic debate. Left-leaning factions initially resisted abandoning neutrality, but the stark reality of a revanchist Russia, combined with Finland's parallel move toward NATO, tipped the scales. Sweden's accession thus reflects both a pragmatic response to immediate threats and a long-term strategic alignment with the West, building on its EU membership since 1995 and decades of quiet cooperation with NATO through exercises like Baltic operations. Militarily, Sweden is no minor player despite its modest population of 10.5 million. Its defense capabilities, honed during decades of neutrality to ensure self-reliance, make it a net contributor to NATO rather than a free rider. Sweden's defense industry is a standout, producing world-class systems like the Saab JAS-39 Gripen fighter jet, a multi-role aircraft praised for its agility and cost-effectiveness, and the Gotland-class submarines, stealthy vessels optimized for Baltic operations. Other exports, such as the Carl Gustaf recoilless rifle, AT-4 anti-tank weapon, and RBS-15 anti-ship missile, are widely used by NATO allies, enhancing interoperability. The Swedish Air Force integrates seamlessly with NATO systems, and a 2023 declaration by Nordic Air Force commanders aims to operate over 250 Nordic fighter jets, combining Sweden's Gripens with Finland's F-35s and Norway's F-16s as a unified fleet, significantly boosting NATO's air power in the region. On the seas, Sweden's navy, the third largest in the Baltic after Russia and Germany, excels in littoral and submarine warfare, leveraging Gotland's position to secure maritime dominance and protect vital trade routes. Sweden's army, though smaller at 57,000 active personnel, is bolstered by a reinstated conscription system, a policy revived in 2018 after being dormant since 2010. Currently training up to 6,000 recruits annually, with plans to reach 8,000 by 2025, this system ensures a steady pipeline of capable soldiers, supplemented by a growing reserve force. The total defense concept, a legacy of Cold War planning, integrates civilian infrastructure, energy grids, telecommunications, food supply chains, with military readiness, offering NATO a blueprint for resilience against hybrid threats like cyber attacks or economic sabotage. Sweden's defense spending reflects this commitment. After decades hovering around 1% of GDP, it hit NATO's 2% target in 2024, with a 28% increase since 2022. The 2025 to 2030 total defense bill allocates over 170 billion SE, roughly $16 billion USD, to military enhancements, aiming for 2.6% of GDP by 2028, signaling Sweden's intent to exceed NATO's baseline expectations. Sweden's influence on NATO manifests in multiple dimensions. Strategically, it deepens the alliance's Nordic integration, building on frameworks like Nordic Defense Cooperation and the Joint Nordic Air Command to create a unified bloc that outmatches Russia's regional forces, particularly as Moscow's military is stretched thin by Ukraine. Operationally, Sweden has hit the ground running while pledging 600 troops to a NATO battle group in Latvia in 2025 and offering Gripen jets for air surveillance over Poland, as announced on March 6, 2025. These contributions signal Sweden's readiness to shift from homeland defense to collective forward defense, a philosophical leap facilitated by its sophisticated military and political establishment. In the Baltic Sea, now largely a NATO lake, Sweden strengthens deterrence against Russia's Baltic fleet, while in the Arctic, it enhances the alliance's ability to respond to Moscow's militarization and gray zone tactics, such as cutting undersea cables, a tactic Russia has tested in recent years. Technologically, Sweden's expertise in telecommunications, space, and cyber defense, rooted in companies like Ericsson and a robust space sector, fortifies NATO's resilience against modern threats. This aligns with the alliance's focus on emerging domains amid competition with Russia and China, who increasingly exploit cyber and space vulnerabilities. Sweden's historical neutrality also brings a unique perspective. Its experience negotiating Cold War tensions without formal alliances offers NATO insights into diplomacy and deterrence outside traditional military frameworks. However, challenges remain. Sweden must adapt its military to NATO's expansive operational demands, potentially expanding its army beyond current plans and balancing national priorities, like protecting its vast northern territories, with alliance commitments stretching from the Mediterranean to the Black Sea. Sweden's entry has undeniably made NATO safer and stronger. By securing key regions, contributing advanced capabilities, and reinforcing deterrence, Sweden has redefined European security architecture. The alliance's northern flank, once a patchwork of aligned and non-aligned states, is now a coherent front, complicating Russian military planning and signaling a unified Western response to authoritarian challenges. This shift reverberates beyond Europe. Sweden's membership, alongside Finland's, sends a message to global actors that NATO remains a dynamic, expanding force, undeterred by Russian attempts to sow division. Domestically, Sweden's transition has sparked a cultural reckoning, its identity as a neutral peacemaker evolving into that of an active defender of democratic values, but public support remains strong, buoyed by tangible security gains. Sweden's journey from neutrality to NATO membership reflects a broader geopolitical realignment, driven by Russia's aggression and the West's resolve to counter it. Its influence ensures NATO is better equipped to face a volatile world, from conventional threats to hybrid warfare. As the alliance evolves, Sweden stands as a vital pillar, proving that even a small nation can cast a long shadow when backed by capability, resolve, and strategic vision. In a region where history has often been shaped by great powers, Sweden's NATO role marks a new chapter, one where it helps write the rules of Northern security.